Hello, everybody. This is your favorite artist, Mark Bromley, with another picture that I created at the end of 2024 in December. This is the first iteration, the first design element. This is the draft, the first draft of the Naito Bromley family crest. Now, I started studying this crest based on my own family history of the Bromleys from England, uh, where there was a knighthood that actually gave a Bromley a family crest over in England. And much of that family crest is not represented in this family crest, as this is actually the Naito Bromley family crest, or my family crest that I designed for my family. And this is my art design, and it's actually quite historically significant. For my side of the family, Bromley, I decided to go with the image of a griffin that's mounted on the helmet as the Bromley family logo, which I've always liked the griffin ever since I was in high school back in a long time ago. I've always liked the griffin, so I put the griffin in there. If you're wondering what that spike is an idea for a sun radiance in the background that's going to be installed at a later date, probably on the second uh, edition of this motto. Like, for instance, one of the symbolisms is this banner that you might actually see right here, Naito Bromley. I still have to curve the names. Curving letters is actually kind of complicated because I don't have the programs for it. So it's a tedious process. So I'm going to get to that a little bit later when I do the second rendition, getting ready to create the wood carving of this family logo. But yeah, that banner was created by me. I drew that in and just created that banner. So yeah, that's just a banner that I created. I use it at the top and the bottom. And the bottom banner says basically Sancti Prosper, Prosperitas Universalis Illustrato, which is Latin for saintly, prosperous, universal enlightenment. So that's basically what it means. It's a positive message for the future of the Naito Bromley family, which I am the, I guess, the father of. And my son will be carrying forth this name here with this symbol. I know this symbol looks so fantastically remarkable that if my son ever created a winery, he should put it on his wine bottles. Yeah, it'd be great. But let me get to the second edition after I do this one. This is just the first edition. And some of the symbology is pretty interesting. If you wondered about the Naito family crest, it's the object that's in the middle. That object right there in the middle is the Naito Bromley crest, the Naito crest. It is wisteria leaves, flowers, wisteria flowers, inverted. And the twisting vine right here down on the bottom, I don't know if it really has a significance in Japanese. Maybe it does, but I take it to be uh, DNA. I'm going to actually coat it with 4 different colors to denote the symbology of the DNA, the DNA code. And it's actually my firm belief that uh, diversity of genetics actually creates strong genetics in the human race. So the more diverse your family can be, the more stronger your family's future will be, the more resilient to all sorts of differences in the human condition can be overcome. And the purple background on top of the gold leaves, on the gold flowers. Gold is the usual color for a family motto in Japan because that's the actual family motto right there, motif. And purple is the color of the universe. So yeah, purple is the color of the universe. So it signifies the universe. And that's why it's put on the center of the shield because that's the spouse. The spouse's family motif is put on the shield, and the father's uh, symbol is put on the helmet. So on the top of the helmet, and the helmet has stag horns on a samurai helmet that is mounted on a European knight's helmet. So it's a combination of Japanese culture and European culture and American culture, all in one symbology of the stag horns with on the helmet. And then you can see the fleur de lis that's in the background. That's the actual cape that is donned by the hood. There's supposed to be a laurel on top of the helmet. Uh, the fleur de lis is a throwback to Charlemagne and the birth of chivalry of the knights of Europe, which is a very, very ancient and old tradition of the European culture. The colors yellow and red signify the Bromley line of old, which I take to be gold is the fields of wheat, and the red is the blood of the family. So life, that's what it actually signifies, is life, and that's the fleur de lis, and that's its background in French existence. Because in 1066, the Bromley family lineage is actually allied, I believe, with William the Conqueror when they came over with the Normans. So there is an actual strong Norse background in the family lineage, and it's European. It was a settlement in Normandy, France, that came across the Channel to England, and then the true English language is developed after 1066 with the conquest of the Norman Vikings, eradicating the Anglo-Saxon rule of England at that time through 1066, and the eventual untimely death of King Harold, who was shot in the eye at the Battle of Hastings. And the Bromley name does actually get its heritage, is mentioned to some extent within the Doomsday books written at that time because William the Conqueror wanted to see what he inherited across the kingdom of Europe. And it's a strange little book because it actually details some really interesting facts and some rather mundane facts about living in that time frame. And it was just basically a chronicle of what William the Conqueror decided was his kingdom after he had won it. And that's what that all comes from. And so there's a shield, and on the shield you see the traditional family colors of gold and red. Um, but then I added the light blue for sky and the dark blue for ocean because when I met my wife Kumiko in Japan, uh, I got there through the air and the sea. So that's how I arrived. And so that's how Naito Bromley, the family of Naito Bromley, began in Japan uh, with the through the air and the sea. So the air and the sea was actually added to the field of crops and the blood of the family. So that's the whole entire symbology actually there in a nutshell. Now, you're probably seeing this little Pegasus on the side. Well, that's actually a Sleipnir quadricorn Pegasus. The Sleipnir one is a throwback to the heraldry coming from Norman Viking uh, takeover of many of the coastal cities, like Normandy, England. All of that was like Norse populations coming across from the more northern regions, across the Nordic regions into England and down into France, and that's what's a Sleipnir. Uh, it's a Pegasus because we also have a background because of the times of the Roman conquest taking over parts of Europe all the way up into England is part Roman. So the Pegasus is a calling to that side of the family heritage. And it's a quadricorn. Why is it a quadricorn? because the Bromley family name is magical, and we're more magical than just a unicorn. We're a quadricorn, so we have four horns to make us more magical, and that's what that's all about. And as you can see on the other side, the design would normally have a dragon on it, and instead of a European dragon, we went with Ryujin, the Japanese dragon of the sea, who is a flying dragon, and that's why the wing is detached, because flying dragons in uh, Asian philosophy and religion do not have wings, but they have limbs and they're more serpent-like, but they do fly. So that's why there's a detached wing to denote the fly that it Ryujin is a flying dragon. As you can notice, there are seven horns on either side of his head, make a total of 14, I guess, but that's a holy number, such as the crosses on the helmet. That's also a holy symbol. So yeah, that's Ryujin, and he's carrying four pearls. I might add a fifth pearl in the mouth, because I think there's five pearls. So I have to add a fifth pearl in the mouth. And he has some hair on him, and it's a it's a beautiful looking dragon, and he has a lot of scales, more than enough scales. He has seven claws per hand, and he's clutching the pearls of wisdom and enlightenment of to denote the strength that the Naito Bromley family is both the strength of Japan and the strength of Europe and the strength of the United States all combined into one. And that's basically the symbol right there. That's the symbolism used in this first draft of the Naito Bromley family crest, which, if I had a winery, I would definitely turn this into a sticker and put it on there because it looks pretty darn good. I think it's very attractive, and I think people would pretty much like it. So, get my book Yoranthium so I can make enough money to open up the Naito Bromley winery and start making some wine and put this on the wine bottles as a label. Okay? That's pretty much what I want to do with that, I think. I don't know. But anyways, that was made for my wife and my son so they could actually understand the heritage that they actually came from over in Europe. So they can actually see that the Bromley line was knighted and it was given a family crest, and it was actually through a long history of, actually historically significant, has historical significant value in the World Heritage Society as the Bromley name, and Naito Bromley is very significant to the promotion of Western culture throughout history. And there's several books that actually talk about the Bromley family line. The Doomsday Book's one of them. There's a book by Ian Bromley that goes into the Bromley heritage. There's also a book by Viola Bromley that actually talks about the family lineage of Bromleys here in the United States from New York and across and its migration across the United States. And it's all pretty fantastic uh, and fanciful stories. But this is my family crest that I created for my own family side and line of it. And basically, yeah, this is how you actually really design one. The complexity of actually coming up with how to design a fleur-de-lis is actually rather complicated. This one's going to go some modifications because you can't even see the tassels that I put in there. They were beautiful tassels, but I'm going to knock them off and just change the fleur-de-lis so it's more gaudy in the second one. And this whole image is going to be a little bit tweaked and fixed by the time I get to the next rendition of the family crest, family motto, and down here Sancti Prosperitas Universalis Illustrato, saintly, prosperous, universal enlightenment, and that's basically all it means. And that's just really fitting because each family member has to create their own and represent themselves through their own design. I'd be happy to design you guys one too, but these things take time. So I can't say that I offer them cheaply because they're not cheap to make. They're not easy to make. Coming up with the ideas for what should be on there, like the shield bearers, the Sleipnir quadricorn Pegasus, and the Rujin dragon, wasn't an easy design element to just throw in there. You had to draw those things. A lot of this stuff was all drawn separately. The You can tell by the griffin, that was a separate image. The fleur de lis was separate. The samurai helmet, the knight helmet, all of them separate. And my wife's family crest was separate. She actually had to send me a picture of what they have up at their shrine for their family. She doesn't really know the history of it at all either. A lot of histories do get obfuscated over time. And so ultimately, in the end, what you believe is your family history because that's the only way you can go about it. Because how much time do you got to research the whole entire thing? Well, anyways, this is pretty much what I did for my first rendition of the family crest. I hope you guys like this video, and if you do, remember to get my book Yoranthium. Got a Indiegogo right now here in 2025 until March to sell the second book of the series for a pre-order. And well, if you like Family Crest, you can also contact me to create one for you. You all have a great day. Thank you very much. I'm Mark Bromley, the artist born since 1969, the younger of all the artists out there. And basically, I hope you like this. You have a great day.